Hi everybody, this is Caroline Sotheby and welcome to Up, Down, and Around Town. Hope you had a nice Easter and we're hoping some good weather is going to stay with us. But before I go on with our guests, I have to take a little clip that was March 29th, and that was a Wednesday. It's a designated day to remember the Vietnam War and the heroes, especially the ones that gave their lives. So this is the monument down there. It's been there for maybe about, 5-6 years. This is the back end of it. And they had a group that showed up from the American Legion, Post 1136, and given a memorial to all these that have passed away from the Vietnam War. And the final, all gave some gave all. I don't know who actually contributed to that, but you can see, you can go there past the Van Alstyne area and see all the other monuments that are devoted to either the World War II or all the veterans for all the wars. Anyway, being in this situation and being involved with American Legion, I met my guests, about 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes.
And all because I was with American Legion and you were there too, and you still are, but with the Trenton group. But Girl State is the most important thing in your mind, and you've been with that how many years?
Since 2008.
2008.
Real active. Before that, I volunteered. Weekends a day, or and
then all of a sudden
I was in. I was hooked.
For some people that you probably, if you got the White Warrior, this is February, but this was the write-up, a little bit information, not only on the Girl State, but the Boy State.
Correct.
Okay. What is Girl State or Boy State?
Both programs are sponsored by the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary. It's a leadership, really more of a leadership program, but a government simulation where the students learn about city, county, and state government, all governed by the Michigan Constitution. And they get to meet other students from all across the state of Michigan, including the Upper Peninsula. And it's really a life-changing experience for them.
I bet. Now, for a while, we had one of the girls at the Wyandotte American Legion. She had been through that. And we've got to make people realize that it's just not any age, or it's a special age. It's just you finish your junior year and going into your senior year in high school, you are privileged. They're all about the same age because of that.
Yes. We may, because of these college, they can do college courses early. We have a student this year that's actually not going to graduate from high school until 2024.
Really?
But she's considered a senior, so it could kind of change our qualifications just a little bit because she still is in high school. But normally it's girls that are finishing their junior year in high school and will be entering their senior year that following fall.
Okay. So what would be the best thing to do if you finally decide, hey, I'd like to go, Mom, Dad, can you help me? But if they can't really help, there's always the legions that are willing to pay for somebody, right?
Correct. We're the primary sponsors, the Legion family, as we call them, which is the Legionnaires, the Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion, and the Legion Riders.
Okay.
They can all sponsor. Individual organizations can sponsor, even parents can sponsor their own child. We don't like to do that because we like to give the family the experience of having someone else pay for that. But we do have Kiwanis clubs, Lions clubs, exchange clubs, Rotary clubs that also sponsor girls and boys.
So
I should say.
you have to meet with them then. I mean, in order for them to realize what's this state this year, because with COVID, the last couple of years were sort of what? They weren't at the college.
No.
You had what?
We were canceled altogether, Boys State and Girls State, in 2020. 21 and 22, the girls had virtual, which was successful but not well attended. We probably had approximately 60 students compared to 300 when we're in person. The Boys Staters, they were at Grand Valley in 2021 and in 2022. However, their attendance was very low. They barely reached 100.
Really?
So we're really hoping, we're back at Michigan State University this year, and Boys State is at Grand Valley again, and we're really hoping to get our numbers back up. I think people are starting to get out and about now.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Okay, well, one thing, it's going to be June what?
June 18, which is Father's Day.
Okay.
That's when the registration, our first day is June 18th, and it ends later in the afternoon on June 24.
Okay, so if somebody decides to go and puts the little registration and it gets all the necessary information out, and that day arrives, what do they do and what do they go on from there?
Well, they arrive between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. We're going to be at Snyder Phillips Hall this year. In the past, we were at Shaw, so this is a new experience for us. I just toured that hall on Friday, so feeling a little better about it. It's not too different from Shaw, but it's one of the older brick ivy buildings on the campus, a very beautiful area. But they'll get there between 9 and 11 for registration. They'll go up to their assigned room, meet their counselor. Normally we have 12 fictitious cities, so they're assigned to a particular city, all named after past Department American Legion Auxiliary presidents, and they'll meet their counselor for the week, kind of get acclimated in their room a little bit, and then they go right over to Wells Hall and start the educational portion of the program, meet the county advisors. They're assigned to a county, each 4 cities to a county, and they'll attend their first county meeting.
Right that day?
That day. Then,
Okay, so how do you finally get to know if you're a mayor or city council or whatever?
Well, the elections for city elections and appointments are done right away that first day when you get there, during the first county meeting, I believe. I don't get to see much of the educational portion because they have me stuck in a room and a computer. So, trying to get out more and more to their classes and such. But they elect within their city their mayor, maybe a public, like a recreation officer, a treasurer, a city reporter. There's a number of positions within the city. And then they move right into electing officials for the county. You have, numerous positions within the county. And then by Tuesday, they're already, Sunday and Monday are very heavy educational portion. They have to teach you and feed you an awful lot of information so you know how to run your own city, county, and state. Then by Tuesday afternoon, they have conventions. They're divided into two political parties fictitious political parties, when they arrive at MSU, when they get their room number and everything. So they will either be a Federalist or a Nationalist. So they actually have, just like the Democrats and Republicans, they hold a real convention and they select their nominees for Secretary of State, Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, and the Girl State Governor. And then later on through the week, they select 5 Supreme Court justices that's what will be elected
through the
later.
week, they're learning the positions and responsibilities of all these officers.
Correct, right. Kind of like acting a little bit. If they're into theater, this would be wonderful for them because they can. You can arrive at Girl State, no one knows who you are. They don't know what clique in high school you're associated with, or your group of friends, whether you're popular, whether you're shy. You can be anyone you want to be when you arrive at Girl State.
Then, of course, by the time they leave, which is what, Saturday then?
Saturday afternoon, we have our closing ceremony.
But that time they've gone through conventions and all this, and wow.
Yeah, and we do voting on Wednesday. We use real voting equipment.
Really?
We have a real ballot box there. We have an actual ballot that we have printed up that night. I have a gentleman that usually is up at 3 a.m. just waiting for me to send him the template, and he delivers that by Wednesday afternoon when we vote, and they can feed that right into the little tally box like they do. So they learn how to vote as well, so they're prepared, when they're old enough to cast their own vote for real.
Wow. Okay. You did bring us some pictures. Do you want to at least give us an idea what's on them? And
I can just briefly show you this is our voting machines.
Okay.
I know you can't
If you
see
want
them
to
very
do
well.
it here, yeah.
Here's our tabulation box.
Okay.
And they feed them in there, and then we have a little ticker tape that feeds out of it, and it tabulates all the numbers of who got how many votes. Once they're voted in, they, oops, wrong one. They get, on Thursday we go to the Capitol, of course, which that picture you had from the paper is in. We have them get sworn in, usually by a real Supreme Court justice.
All right.
I forget this young woman's name that swore us in, but I think her daughter actually attended Girl State that year, and she was in politics. It's a picture of our Supreme Court justices.
Okay.
And they get black robes and everything. We have
Really?
to,
Yeah.
Yeah. Later in the week, well, on Saturday, the only real activity we have is we have a moot court and a mock trial, and that's when the Supreme Court justices get to do their work. And we have real, little courtroom there with the witness and the judge and the 5 Supreme Court justices. So that's rather exciting, but that's about it. We've got some pictures there that I think they'll show later of the girls arriving. We have a...
Was that the one on the first one? Arriving, or?
This here is the girls standing outside of Shaw Hall getting ready for the registration.
Okay, so this year you won't be at Shaw Hall.
We won't be at Shaw Hall. We'll be at Snyder Phillips.
Okay. Was there a big difference between?
Not enough, just a little bit of the layout. Basically, as far as the cafeteria being in the middle of the hall, you've got Snyder Hall on one side of the cafeteria, you've got Phillips on the other side. And with Shaw Hall, it was the same situation. You had the cafeteria in the middle, and you had the East Shaw Hall wing and the West Shaw Hall wing. So basically, it's going to be
Similar. Yeah. But of course, these girls won't know the difference because they weren't there before.
Right. So it won't confuse them. It will only confuse. And there's a big sign when you enter each hall, and we'll tell you which hall you're in. So we're hoping that'll help us.
Okay.
So.
But usually, when you were having these, you had what? At least 200 gals.
Our lowest number was 297, and that was in 2019.
Really?
So we're hoping, in order for the program to run the way it really should, and for all the positions to be filled, we really need at least 225.
Okay.
So right now we're slightly over 100, so we got a little bit of work to do before June. So, but applications and are coming daily.
Do you have an application here, though?
I do not with me, but it is available online, and I can give you the website if you'd like.
Okay.
It's www.michaux.org. And if there's on the main page, you'll see a list of items to your right, and you click on ALA Girl State, and right near the top there's actually a short video that kind of explains our program a little bit, and there's an application for the girls and a reservation form for any sponsor that would like to sponsor a young lady at a cost of $400.
Okay. Now, you're aware, and they should probably be aware of American Legion 217 near the river in Wyandotte. Where are you located?
I'm currently the president of the Trenton American Legion, and we are right downtown Trenton on Jefferson, next to the old Trenton Theater.
Oh, okay. I should remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't always get a chance. Usually 4th of July or Memorial Day, where the group used to go visit each one and say hi, and have a drink or so, or snacks too. So.
Right.
All right, for somebody now, just repeating, it's a girl that's going into her senior year, wanting to have this experience, because I don't know of anybody else that has something like that.
I don't believe there is youth in government that I don't know an awful lot about, but I think it's associated with the YMCA, and that's about as close as we can get.
Okay, so look up, get your application in, or even call the 313, what's your?
313-318-6845.
Okay.
And my email is berylrobbins1980@gmail.com.
Okay. Or hop down to Post 217 down in Wyandotte on Van Alstyne, because we had quite a few people. As a matter of fact, I had talked to Dr. Koss many years ago. She had gone through this. And like I said, there was one girl that was very active in our group, but then her husband got a job someplace else and she left. And this was earth-shattering to her. I got to know, and I feel I had to go and devote my time to the city and the county. And I think that's probably awareness of what the girls actually feel after they've been there.
Oh, definitely. I think they get involved in their community more I know there are a lot of our organizations that, you know, the members are getting older, and new members aren't coming in as quickly as we would like.
Yeah.
But there's been quite a few that have gone through our program that have actually gone back and become active in their community. An awful lot of them already do just a ton of community service. The applications I've had from some young ladies, you know, this year are just amazing. I don't know how they have time to go to school. You know?
Well, they'll find a way, just like, well, you're active, you've been with it. I mean, a lot of people that, when you go to the Legion, they are active. There's always something to do. There's always, let's plan this and let's go, yeah. And especially, like I said, even with the ceremony for the veterans, Vietnam veterans, you had your groups all get together. It just wasn't one Legion. It was American Legion, it was 1136, it was Purple Heart. All these get together because they have, that's something special.
Right, all something in common.
Yeah, and it's nice to have them all together. And yet they're all doing something, sometimes in their own way, but that's the purpose of it.
Right, right.
So, hey, when I talked to you the other day, though, you had mentioned something that your group actually had a class, right?
We did.
And what was happening there?
It was a 4-hour CPR class. It was one of our Legion Rider members is an EMT, and his wife is a registered nurse, and they gave the, you know, they presided over the program, and it was very informative. I've been through it a few times, and I've been certified in the past, but I actually learned a lot more during this one. Just, you know, how to do CPR on an adult, a child, as well as an infant, and how to stop get a infant from, you know, stop them from choking on something. Ways to use a defibrillator. I'm not sure about Wyandotte, but Riverview now has a defibrillator at their building, and so does Trenton. So they taught us how to use that, exactly where to put the pads of the defibrillator, and how to run that, and that little machine talks to you. So if you get confused, it tells you what to do. And they also gave us a little bit of first aid and bee stings and that sort of thing, how to use an EpiPen if we have to, although most people that carry an EpiPen already know how to use it, but it's good if you know how. So just as a backup. But it was very informative, and we have RNs and registered nurses at Girls State, either 1 or 2, depending on how many students we have. But it doesn't hurt for just a number of people to know CPR. They said the majority of the public doesn't have a clue how to do CPR, and even those that do are sometimes afraid to get involved and jump in to help an individual that's in distress.
Like I told you, when I was a waitress, we were told we had to have that class. And at that time, it was more or less run by the fire department. Well, American Legion, I mean, not a Red Cross or the fire department. So we did learn a little bit, but like you said, you almost fear doing it because you don't want to harm the person, but at the same time, they need help.
Yeah, right.
Even if you screw up a little bit, you might help me out.
Exactly.
You know?
And there are, just to make people feel a little more comfortable, there are laws in place. It's a Good Samaritan law that you can't be sued for assisting an individual that's in danger. Yes.
Yeah. Because, like you said, there are a lot of people probably just, I don't want to try it. I don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah. But that can, I think you mentioned something about a baby or an infant. What would you do different other than compress on the chest?
Well, where you use two hands
Yeah.
on even a
adult.
child or an adult on their chest. For a baby, you just use two fingers.
Yeah.
Or cradle your hands around the baby and use your thumbs.
Really?
Is a good way of doing it. So but it's just, and you don't, I think you depress like 2 inches for an adult or an older child, but only about 1.5 inches for a baby. You don't want to, break a rib or
Right.
pop out the other side. You just want to.
Yeah.
But they said anything is better than nothing, even if you don't have the right, the right method, or if you don't,
Just the idea of getting the
sing
emotion.
Staying Alive and keep that rhythm, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Are they going to offer it another time soon?
They may. I'm not sure, when, but they might. But I think if you even contact the Red Cross, they have individuals. We watched a number of Red Cross videos.
You did?
And then at the end, we did all the hands-on with the dummies. So
With Thank goodness for
not
that.
people attending, just those fake plastic things,
Yeah,
know. and-
yeah.
but,
Okay. Hey, I know you're going to be busy, and you're hoping for more people.
We are.
And once you get them and that week comes, you're going to be busy. You stay right there then.
Yes, I arrived the Friday prior
Okay.
to Girls State starting and don't leave until the Sunday after, so I'm gone for just about a full 10 days.
Wow.
My dog's going to be upset.
How many people actually help you?
We usually have about 15 auxiliary members.
Do you?
And approximately the same on the government staff. We have a professional government staff where the head of our government staff now is the Kent County Administrator. And we have a number of MSU. They work with MSU, but they're like in an ascension program of sorts. So, but they're professors, and they work in all sorts of either schools or a government job.
Okay. So it's comfortable for a parent to say, okay, I can let my girl go there. I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Oh yeah, most definitely. No girl is left alone, ever, really. They are always roomed with another girl.
Okay.
They're always in their city together. We walk to Wells Hall and back to the resident hall, all as one group. It looks like a parade coming through
Okay.
MSU. MSU police is very, very prompt if we ever do have a problem. They are at the door before I can hit the main door to let
Yeah.
them in. They're very reactive to
Okay.
our needs.
Thanks, Beryl.
Thank you.
And thanks for the work you're doing, too.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I hope you learned something today, and keep in touch with her or go to American Legion and find out how you can participate, maybe even sponsor somebody that might need a little help. So take care. We'll see you next time on Up, Down, and Around Town. Bye now.